Enough is enough. I'm tired of staying silent, of seeing how people behave this way. It's not about hate or attacking anyone, but it's impossible to ignore the double standard that always comes up when it comes to Taehyung or Jungkook. It's unbelievable how suddenly everyone becomes a moral arbiter, criticizing even the smallest things, all with a hypocrisy I can't understand. Taehyung posts a picture of McDonald's fries and there it is, everyone making a huge fuss over something so insignificant. He's been doing this for years and they still make fun of him for it. Does eating something so common have to be a reason to put him in the eye of the storm? And don't even get me started on Jungkook. When he posted a picture with his Starbucks coffee, the hate he received was excessive. What's wrong with people? They can enjoy simple things too, like a coffee. But it seems like some people's only goal is to find the slightest excuse to criticize. And what happens when Jimin does the exact same thing? When he was eating in front of the camera, mentioning McDonald's, nobody said a word. Not a single indignant comment. Everyone stayed silent. There were no moralizing speeches, no hashtags, no hate campaigns. When Taehyung or Jungkook do something, everyone's ready to jump on them, but when it's Jimin, it seems like everything is forgotten. It's like they don't care what he does because he's their favorite. But if Taehyung had done the same thing, everyone would be criticizing him non-stop, making up stories, and twisting everything. And yet, they still tell us Taekookers that we're being naive for thinking there's something more, that there's a connection. What bothers me the most is that when it comes to Taehyung or Jungkook, it seems like everything is wrong. If they breathe the wrong way, that's it, everyone attacks them. But how many times have you seen something similar when Jimin does something? Suddenly they become saints, they're allowed to do anything, and there's no criticism whatsoever. It's the same behavior, the same attitude, but it depends on who's doing it. And that honestly makes me think, it's not about being a fan of one or the other, it's about being consistent. It's not about blindly defending whoever you like, but about being fair. And when fanatics pretend not to see what's happening just because it's someone from their group, that's where the hypocrisy comes in. Everyone stays silent when something doesn't fit their version of events, but they have no problem attacking those they don't like, even if they're doing the exact same thing. In the end, all this shows that selective outrage reveals much more than we realize. While people continue to attack others for such trivial things, it exposes everything they're trying to hide. Social media is filled with hate for no reason, all because they don't like who someone is or what they're doing. When you can only see one side of the story, it's easy to throw stones, but the truth is, what's really happening is that double standard is being exposed. It's not about letting idols live their lives, as many say, because that's just empty rhetoric to justify their actions. It's easier to attack those who aren't in your group and forget about what's wrong when it's your favorite doing it. Now let's talk a little about Jungkook's livestream, when we saw him playing video games. He started with a slightly puffy but super cute face, like he'd slept a little longer than usual. And in his soft voice, he asked if we could hear him okay. Then, without wasting any time, he started reading the names of the Kancho cookies, laughing at each failed attempt. He immediately paused, looked at the screen, and as if he hadn't been surprised, said quietly that he couldn't find his name again. Immediately, he started playing a horror game, knowing it was going to be chaotic. From the beginning, he was quite scared, but he still threw himself into it, determined not to be defeated. Every time a monster appeared, his reaction was always the same: "Sir, please wait," or "Ma'am, please don't move." As if he were in the middle of a negotiation with ghosts or something. The funny thing is that as they chased him, he kept begging them. "Please don't kill me," he'd say, almost pleadingly, but also as if it were all a game. At one point, he even said to one of the monsters, "Ma'am, I think I left the battery in there. Could you go get it for me?" It was as if he were having a normal conversation, politely arguing with a being from beyond. And when something was chasing him, he'd scream desperately, as if he were actually asking for help. But the funniest thing is that after dying about 100 times, when he finally reached the end of the game, his face was beaming with pure genius. "I'm a genius," he said, almost incredulously, as if he'd accomplished an epic feat. While solving the puzzles, he not only kept dying over and over again, but he also started massaging the game's characters, saying things like, "That'll be 5001, in a funny and very relaxed tone. Finally, he laughed at himself and, with a tired expression, remarked, "How scary. But catnip makes cats happy, right? Is that why it's called catnip?" As if he were scientifically analyzing the game's villain, as if the moment were more of a serious investigation than a simple horror game. All this happened while he made us feel part of something bigger, an inside joke just between us. Afterward, he mentioned that he'd been recording a lot lately and now just wanted to relax, so he was playing just for fun. A little later, he asked us how Jin's concert went and if we'd eaten well, as if nothing unusual had happened. As always, he asked questions that made you feel close to him, like he was a lifelong friend. Suddenly, he started playing a documentary about aliens, subtitled in English so that fans from all over the world could understand it. He watched it for a while, but quickly got bored and switched to some short, very funny sketches. Then he started playing PUBG, even though it was clear he wasn't very good at it. He confessed this out loud, with his characteristic humility, and began laughing at his own mistakes as he tried to figure out how to play. Every time he failed, he not only took it in stride but also made it all part of his charm. Moments like this are what make Jungkook so special. Every mistake, every laugh, every little moment of his livestream connects us with him in such a genuine way that we can't help but feel like we're right there, sharing that moment with him. Without even trying, he made time fly by because there was nothing forced about what he was doing. He was simply being himself, not trying to impress anyone, just enjoying the moment with us. What many Taekookers have noticed for years is undeniable. There's a special connection between Jungkook and Taehyung, something that goes beyond what's immediately apparent. There's something about the way they look at each other, the way they seek each other out, those little touches they give each other without thinking, without worrying about cameras nearby or someone watching. What's most striking is that, regardless of the context, those gestures remain the same. And that's what makes it noticeable, because it's not something they do on purpose. It's something that simply flows, as if it were natural. No one has instructed them on how to behave or what to do, it's just them being themselves. And although some try to deny it, it's impossible not to see how Jungkook behaves completely differently with Taehyung than with anyone else. What's truly frustrating is how, when it comes to Taehyung or Jungkook, everything becomes a problem. If they look at each other a certain way or touch each other a certain way, someone will immediately say something. It's all wrong. But if Jimin does the same thing, it suddenly becomes something completely different, something accepted, even admired. It's as if the same actions carry a different weight depending on who does them. This isn't about being a fan of one or the other, or about blindly defending whoever you like most, but about being consistent. If something one of them does bothers you, why doesn't it bother you the same way when the other does it? It goes beyond personal preferences. It's about being fair and recognizing that there shouldn't be a difference between them just because of who's in the spotlight. Because in the end, it's not about judging each one separately, but about seeing things from a fairer perspective. And even though it might seem like a small thing, the way Jungkook and Taehyung behave with each other is something that can't be overlooked. Nobody is forcing them to do anything they do. The glances, those fleeting touches, the way they seek each other out even without words. It's as if everything around them ceases to matter when they're together, and that's not forced at all. It's real. Because people can say whatever they want, but there's no denying that Jungkook doesn't do that with anyone else, nor does Taehyung with anyone else. What's truly strange is how people, even within the same fandom, allow themselves to make a distinction. The same gesture, the same look, the same behavior, but it all depends on who does it. If it's Taehyung or Jungkook, then it's wrong, it's judged, criticized. But when it's Jimin, it seems like everyone sees it as perfect, something that needs no explanation. Are we really seeing the same thing? Or are we letting our preferences influence what we think is right or wrong? It's not about making comparisons between one and the other, but about recognizing that all the boys are doing the same thing, just with different reactions. It's impossible not to notice how sometimes it seems like some people get away with everything while others get away with nothing. But if you think about it, it doesn't make sense. The same things that one person does and the other do should be viewed the same way. Because deep down, being a fan of Taehyung or Jungkook shouldn't mean blindly defending them without looking at things objectively. In the end, what matters is being consistent with what we say and what we believe. It's not about taking sides without reason, but about being fair to everyone. And if there's one thing you can see in Jungkook and Taehyung, it's that there's something genuine between them. Something that isn't made to please anyone or to meet other people's expectations. They're simply themselves. And that's what matters most.